Hey guys, I hope you've all had a nice week so far. Here in the UK, we just had an extra bank holiday out of respect for Her Majesty the Queen, as it was her funeral on Monday, and guess where we spent the entire day? In the children's ward. We were back in the children's ward with Avery. I'll tell you more about it in just a minute, but for now I need to give Avery some breakfast and get the boys to school. Avery ended up back in P-Dobs on Monday. I've mentioned in my last few vlogs that she was coming down with something, maybe a viral infection or a cold, but it was just a bit strange that within a week of stopping the antibiotics for the last UTI that she started to get poorly again, and then something else happened that I won't mention because it's a little bit TMI even for my channel. But I called P-Dobs on Monday morning just to ask if we could take in a urine sample just to make sure that UTI wasn't coming back or still lingering, or she didn't have another one. Because it had been so long since she was in, they just suggested that we bring her in and get her checked over. Now, we could have taken a urine sample to our GP, and believe me, we tried, but our GP's quite fussy on the time that you can take a urine sample into them. And then when we did manage to get a urine sample on time, we took it in and they said there wasn't enough to test. But anyway, we spent a couple of hours on Monday morning before taking her into hospital trying to get a urine sample. It's funny, isn't it? We try so hard to make sure the babies don't wee outside of their nappies, and when you want them to, it's really, really difficult. But we went into hospital with her urine sample and we were there for 5 hours in total, and long story short, there is an indication that there could potentially be a UTI, but it could also be other things that are causing the bacteria to show up in her wee. So her sample's gone off for more kind of detailed testing that should tell us for sure, and that should be back in a couple of days. In the meantime, they have given us an antibiotic for her. They've given us trimethoprim, which is standard for UTIs. I mentioned that she was still really chesty and coughing a lot, and she did say that if there was any kind of mild chest infection there, the trimethoprim should help that as well. And then we'll get the results back in a couple of days and go from there. But I mean, she's okay. It's just, we know now, we've learned over the last 18 months exactly what goes on with Avery when she's poorly. She throws up some of her feeds, which she never normally does. She gets very dystonic. She's obviously really, really snotty. She's been warm. I wouldn't say she's had a fever, but she has been on the warmer side. And I just think, especially with Avery and her complex medical needs, it's just better to be safe than sorry. But alongside all of that, we have recently started her on baclofen, so that could be potentially what is making her reflux worse. We've also changed her diet to a blended diet. That could be potentially making her reflux worse. It could potentially be a UTI. It could potentially be a viral infection. It's really difficult with Avery, especially when things are all changing at the same time. I will say she already started to come down with what we thought was a viral infection before she was fully transitioned onto the blended diet, so I don't really think it's that. It could be the baclofen, because baclofen weakens tone, and we want it to weaken the tone in her arms, but that's not always the case. Sometimes it can weaken the muscles in the trunk and core, and obviously Avery's already weak in that area anyway, and for that to get weaker could potentially make her reflux worse because things just aren't working the right way there but we don't know. She's only been on the baclofen for 2 weeks. We need to give it more time. So I think the only thing we can really do at the moment is just try and rule things out. So we should hopefully be able to rule out the UTI in the next couple of days. If it's not a UTI, then we need to give her more time on the baclofen. We've still got a lot of increasing to do on the baclofen. So in theory, the more we increase it, the worse she should get. So that would be an indicator that it could be the baclofen. Like I said, I really don't think it's the blends because she started to get poorly before we started giving her the blends. And if it's anything else, like a mild chest infection or any other kind of bacterial infection, then hopefully the trimethoprim should work for it. It could be her stomach. There could be an infection there that we don't know about, but we do have the community nurse coming back out soon, and she's going to swab it then anyway, so we should be able to rule that out as well. It's all just a guessing game at the moment, isn't it, Pudding? Eh? One day, hopefully, you'll just be able to say, Mummy, this hurts, and we'll know exactly what's wrong with you, won't we? Yes. Yes. Anyway, I've got a couple of things to crack on with this morning, and then I better get this little lady dressed for the day and brush her hair as well, because it's looking a little bit like a bird's nest, isn't it? Isn't it? I think you can probably tell what happened there. I've just given Avery her snack. She is not happy today. I think maybe she needs a bit of an early nap, so I'll probably try and get her down for one in a sec. I'm also waiting for my food shopping to come. I ordered an Asda delivery because I normally shop at Lidl, and silly me, I didn't even think, obviously because of the bank holiday yesterday, everywhere closed. So food shops weren't open, which means I couldn't do my shopping, so I had to do an emergency Asda order for delivery. I definitely felt the difference in price between Lidl and Asda, but it's fine. It's just the 1 week, so I'm waiting for that to come, and then Avery's nearly out of blends, so I feel like I'm going to be scrambling to do a batch of blends today. I was hoping to do it yesterday, but obviously everything was closed, so yeah, need to do that today. I think I'm going to do chicken, avocado and sweet potato, nice and high in calories. And hopefully it shouldn't be too high in volume, because obviously she's been vomiting a little bit, so I don't want to push her on the volume too much. Just figured I'd better explain myself a little bit for those of you that are just now finding my channel. Avery is G-tube fed, and we have just made the transition from a specialised paediatric G-tube feed to a blended diet. So that is just real foods blended up and down her tube. So yeah, that is what we're doing. Anyway, she is screaming, so I really need to go and get her down for a nap. Avery's just gone down for a nap, and I am gonna make the most of this time to do a bit of work. So I am working on something, and I will tell you guys more about it in just a little bit, but for now, like I said, I just need to make the most of this time while Avery sleeps to actually get some work done. I'm rushing, and I'm rushing because I've decided to try and get to Stay and Play. It's back open again after the summer holidays. I didn't think I'd have time to go today because of the food shopping, but we do, so I'm rushing. Well, that was a mad change of plans. So we went to Stay and Play. Like I said, I didn't think we would make it there today just because of the food shopping, but the food shopping came earlier in the slot that we had, so I managed to make it to stay and play, which was really nice because it has been closed all over the summer holiday, so it was really nice to catch up with the other mums. If you're new, I have mentioned in my vlogs before, Stay and Play is like a play/support group for children or families with children with additional needs, so everyone there are kind of on a similar but different journey. So it's really, really nice to go there for a bit. It gets Avery out of the house and it gets her in a new environment, seeing new faces, which is really nice as well. She didn't do so well there this time. Her dystonia was really, really playing up. I think she's happy to be home. On the way back, we stopped into our GP surgery to pick up some cream for her granulation tissue that we ordered last week, and lo and behold, it is still not ready yet. I try and keep my patience at this pharmacy, but every time they tell me that something's not ready, that I ordered a week in advance, I'm just losing my nerve a little bit. Anyway, we have to go back out now because it is time to pick the boys up. Okay, we're back. Back to what I was saying earlier. You guys know I'm a full-time mum / carer / homemaker, whatever you want to call it. But what you probably don't know is I was actually in work before Avery was born. As a matter of fact, after Eli started school, I knew I wanted to get back to work, and if any of you are mums, then you must know how difficult it can be finding a job that works around young children and school and term times, etc, etc. So I knew that it was probably going to be best for me to find a job in a school because the hours are going to be the same as my boys' school hours. That's exactly what I did. I actually got a job as a lunchtime supervisor in a local school, and my husband always joked with me that it was just a fancy way of saying dinner lady. But basically I would go in and just lend a hand to the TAs and the children at lunchtime 5 days a week. And then COVID hit. Because of COVID, I kind of stumbled into a teaching assistant role, which was really, really exciting because that was kind of the pathway I wanted to go down anyway. So I ended up working one morning a week as a teaching assistant, and I was really enjoying it. Sorry, change of scenery guys. I had to do a quick battery change because my battery went flat on me. So obviously I fell pregnant with Avery. So I worked through my pregnancy and then I went on maternity leave. And I had every intention to return to work once my maternity leave was finished. I was 100% set on that because I really wanted to pursue this career as a teaching assistant. But, you know, life had other ideas. There were a lot of reasons that made the decision for me not to return to work. They were obviously all focused around Avery because the boys were okay, they were in school. Avery has complex medical needs, and I know there are a lot of parents that choose to go down the route of returning to work and hiring a carer for their children that have special needs, but for me, especially at this stage, it just didn't feel like it was an option. Avery is obviously tube fed, she has her dystonia, she is very, very particular in what positions make her comfortable and happy, and it's taken my husband and I a really long time of trial and error to really get to know her the way we do, and I feel like we are really the only two people that know exactly what she needs just by certain cues. And because of that, I just don't feel like at this time I would feel comfortable putting her in somebody else's care while I went to work. There's obviously also the matter of hospital appointments. If I went to work, it wouldn't be so easy for me to just leave work to take Avery to her many hospital appointments, and they are pretty frequent. So my husband and I both decided that it would be best for me to stay home and care for Avery. You're probably wondering, how do we live? Well, my husband does work full-time, so he does bring in a full-time wage, and we are very, very fortunate to live in the UK where we do have a benefit system that helps support our children with additional needs. I'm not saying I'm proud of having that income, but it is needed, and really we just don't have a choice, and I am just grateful that we have that because Avery's equipment and other things can get quite expensive. This isn't how I want our finances to look long term. I don't always want to be relying on support from the government. I knew I really wanted to find a way that I could help contribute to our household, basically. So you guys know, obviously, I started a YouTube channel. YouTube was more of a passion project for me, to be honest, because I knew I have a lot of valuable experiences, and I know that there would have been a lot of families that would have experienced similar things that they could relate to, and it has kind of worked out that way. I have spoken to so many people that are in similar situations that are really enjoying my videos, so I am really glad of that, and I'm glad that I can provide information or just comfort in any way. My channel is monetized, so I do make a little bit of money from the AdSense, but to be honest, it's not that much. It's definitely not what I would consider a wage. I mean, technically I haven't even paid off my camera yet, but it is a little bit of money that I am bringing in, and I work really hard on my videos. I work really hard on editing them. I work really hard on my content, so I am proud of that little bit of money, even if it doesn't really help towards our expenses that much. So I was still trying to figure out a way that I could help contribute and earn a little bit more money myself, and I started researching how to make a digital planner that I could use in GoodNotes on my iPad, because you know me, I'm a planner. I love organisation. The reason why I don't share that side of me so much on this channel is because I did make one organisation video a while ago and it flopped. It was probably the worst performing video on my channel, so that suggests to me that you guys don't really want to see that stuff from me, so that is why you don't really see it so much on my channel. But I love organisation, I love lists, I love paperwork that helps you organise. So I made this planner, I worked really hard on it, and then I thought I could potentially sell this, and then I thought I have a lot of other ideas of things that I would find useful as an organisation template that I could sell as well. So that is my plan. Today, which was what I was working on earlier, I set up my Etsy shop. I am still trying to figure out how to upload my planner to my Etsy shop because it is a larger file. I think I might need to use something external like Dropbox or something like that, but I need to do a bit more research because I don't quite know how to do it yet. But that is the plan. I don't know what's going to come of it. I don't know if it really will make any money, but I do know that I enjoy doing it, so that's got to be worth something. But if I can make some money from it to help go into our household income, then that is something that I will be really proud of. I just want to preface here that I'm not doing this because I don't feel like I do enough at home. I don't feel like I don't have purpose. You know, I have one of the most important jobs in the world, caring for my children and caring for Avery in particular, and just being a parent slash carer, you know, that is enough in itself, and I 100% know that because it is hard work. And then obviously there's still the housework, there's still the washing, there's still the food shopping, there's still the cooking. You know, there is a lot that goes into being a stay-at-home parent slash carer, and I am in no way saying that I don't feel as though that is good enough. This is just a personal choice. It's doing things that I enjoy and potentially trying to make that into a career of some sort. My goal would be to make a part-time wage doing this. That would be amazing. If I manage to get my Etsy shop all sorted and everything uploaded by the time the video goes up, then I will be sure to leave a link to my Etsy shop down below. So be sure to check it out, especially if you are into organisation like me. And with that said, I think I'm going to close this video off here. It has been a hectic one, to say the least, but thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then please give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button if you want to follow along on our journey. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye guys.